Hey guys, hope everyone's doing really good. Let's go do your own research. Sorry, I'm really late tonight. It took me a while to get it together, but I wanted to do a live stream about Rebel Wilson. She's got this case going on at the moment with this actress called Charlotte Mcinnes, which I've been watching because it's on really early in the morning. They're showing it live from the court in Australia. So normally when I wake up, which is around 6 or 7, it's been on like all night. In fact, tonight I think it's starting at half midnight, but I've been watching it for the last 3 days. So before I talk about that, because the reason why it's of interest is because they've been talking about Brian Friedman and how they're withholding evidence. But basically, Charlotte Mcinnes is suing her for defamation because she alleged on her Instagram that Charlotte had reported sexual harassment on another movie, and Charlotte was like, no, I didn't. And so she wouldn't stop. So Rebel Wilson like doubled down on it. So yeah, that's why Charlotte is suing her for defamation. But yeah, before I talk about that, a couple of days ago, I posted a video on my channel and like no one's watched it. But I think a lot of people have missed this. A lot of people have missed that Katie Wassell, yeah, let me just share screen, right. Is it that one? Yeah. So yeah, so I posted this video. I posted 2 videos. So yeah, Katie Wassell, like, I don't know if you remember, like months and months ago, back in August, actually, I started talking about this. I think it was in August. Anyway, Katie Wassell, she worked with, she worked with Melissa Nathan on the X Factor, I think. Well, she was friends with Melissa Nathan. I'd go so far as to say they were besties at one point. When we first found out about Melissa Nathan from Tag PR, yeah, she was on Twitter talking to Katie Wassell. And I'm like, Katie Wassell was on the X Factor. And then she went over to the US. Right, let me show you what I'm talking about before I forget. Have I lost it? Oh yeah, there it is. Right. So this is a tweet from 2017, Katie Wassell. My TBT Throwback Thursday is dedicated to my best friend. That is Melissa Nathan's old Twitter handle. 4 years ago, we packed this book in a box, headed for NYC. Shout out to all your besties. Yeah. So this is 2017. So 4 years ago would have been 2013. And it's a book and it says, my darling Melissa, this book, wait, I can't remember what it says. 1 second. This book, I can't read it. Oh my God. This book shows us what happens when we ride in cars with boys. Let's not. Otherwise, one of us will have to also get preggers. I'm not ready for that. I love you, Katie. Yeah. So yeah, it's fair to say they were good friends. Melissa actually replied as well. She's like, and you are still round the corner. So yeah, in this video that I posted on my channel, Melissa Nathan's sister looked after Ghislaine Maxwell, Katie Wassell, wild Twitter spaces. So yeah, basically, I saw that Katie Wassell, so she kind of spoke out about Melissa Nathan a long time ago, and she said, yeah, we used to be best friends, and then I found out that she worked for Simon Cowell, and she was feeding information back to him about people on the X Factor while she pretended to be my friend for all these years. So Katie Wassell says that she was essayed by someone that worked for Simon Cowell. And when she told Melissa about it, Melissa told her to not say anything. She was like, that's just how it goes in the music industry. So they fell out. So then Katie Wassell hasn't really been saying anything about this. And then I saw that recently, like a few days ago, she had done a Twitter Spaces and someone posted a Google Drive link to it. So that's where I got this from. And I thought, right, I'm going to post that on my channel because it's relevant to the Blake Lively situation. So in part 2, she dropped 3 massive bombshells. Firstly, she said that she worked for Stephanie Jones. So I went and looked at her LinkedIn because honestly, I'm not really sure what to make of some of the stuff Katie Wassell says. She's a bit vague about a lot of stuff. Like, she's like, oh, I know all this stuff about Melissa Nathan and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, tell us then. She just doesn't even say her name in this. But she says that she worked at Stephanie Jones and that she spoke to Stephanie Jones. And like I said, it's on her LinkedIn profile. I didn't know this before. She said she spoke to Stephanie Jones and Stephanie Jones confirmed to her that Blake Lively hasn't done any of the stuff that's being talked about. Well, no surprises there. But the second revelation was that Sarah Nathan, that's Melissa Nathan's sister, looked after Ghislaine Maxwell at the same time Melissa Nathan was working for Jeffrey Epstein. So she has confirmed. Bear in mind that tweet I showed was from 2017. That would have been the year that Hiltzig was working for Jeffrey Epstein. And we've seen on the emails in the Epstein files that Melissa denied that she was working for him. That would have been the same time, yeah? So I'm like, well, I want to hear more about that. She also said that Melissa Nathan was hired by Sacha Baron Cohen to do a smear campaign against Rebel Wilson. And I'm like, am I the only person that's heard all this stuff? So let me quickly play the video. Wait, sorry, I'm not sharing the screen. All right, let me go again.
For all of those years, who did that whole Blake Lively smear. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively after.
So I should explain. She's doing this Twitter Spaces. It's mainly to One Direction fans. One of them asked about Johnny Depp, and one of them asked about Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds. So this is her answer in that.
For what they did to Justin Baldoni. And he has massive ties over there in the UK because he owns that football club. And
Oh,
so
Nikki, you got no idea.
oh my
Oh my God, the girl who pretended to be my best friend for all of those years, who did that whole Blake Lively smear campaign, who was representing oh my God, this is a whole nother story for a different space. But yes, she represented Justin Baldoni's PR, crisis PR, but also the other girl that partnered with her was from Jones Works, and I worked at Jones Works in New York. It's crazy. So I spoke to Stephanie Jones about this, and I'm like, what the frick is going on? It is so corrupt. Blake Lively, I believe, has done nothing to the extent of what is being publicized about her, because it's the same person who, again, like, oh my God, this is what she does though. But that girl takes vulnerable, like, newbies in the industry of PR and so on and so forth, manipulates the crap out of them, makes them do all of her dirty work so her hands are clean, if that makes sense. Vicky?
yes, ma'am. Sorry, you were breaking up on
Oh,
me.
sorry. It's just because I'm on 2% of battery and I've got to go and charge my phone. But yeah, it's so messed up. So the whole... Right. Okay, 1 second. Sorry. That's the most amazing cheese sandwich. I can't believe my son is still awake at midnight. Yes, amazing. So the person that I'm talking about that pretended to be my best friend for all of those years did a huge smear campaign against Blake Lively, but she also did the same to what's her name? Who was Amber Heard, because she represented Johnny Depp. She also did the same when she represented Sacha Baron Cohen against Rebel Wilson. And I have all of the messages on my phone.
So I was like, wait, hasn't she got that the wrong way round? But I went and checked it. Anyway, she said she got all the messages on her phone as well. Because also, Kate Wassell said she studied law. And although, like I said, a lot of what she says is kind of vague, she says nothing. She doesn't say anything that she can't prove with a receipt, basically.
And also her sister took care of Ghislaine Maxwell while she was doing Jeffrey Epstein's PR.
No way.
Yeah. I have everything on.
Everything, they're all connected always.
Yes.
And see, this is how it is. That someone will always make sure that they have something that you're desperate for and that you need.
Yes, but that's why I want to be so protective over the boys of One Direction. And this is why I believe that Liam's not here anymore. This is why Cheryl Cole in the UK, she's never in the limelight anymore. It goes far deeper and darker than anyone could ever possibly imagine.
So yeah, so then she just goes back to talking about One Direction and Deep and Darker and all of this. But I just thought that was really interesting. And I'm like, well, why isn't anyone talking about this? Because when I checked it out, yeah. So we're going to look at Rebel Wilson's actual history of how she kind of got well known in the first place. And when I was doing a bit of research onto that, I come across this video, which is from 6 years ago, So that was 2021. Okay. So this says Rebel Wilson on touching Anne Hathaway's boob and Tom Hardy's butt. I'm not going to play it yet, but if you look at the comments 2 years ago, right at the top, yeah, have you heard of brigading? Which is where, although the video is like 6 years old, the top comments are 2 years ago. And they're both saying negative things towards Rebel Wilson. 2 years ago was when Sacha Baron Cohen tried to stop Rebel Wilson from publishing a chapter of her book. In fact, he threatened her with legal action, and she redacted a chapter of her book where she was talking about him allegedly sexually harassing her on the movie. So yeah, the top comment says this didn't age well in light of her accusing Sacha Baron Cohen of exposing himself to her, and it's got 29 likes. And then underneath it, it says her outfit was 10K. She's so down to earth. Laughing emoji. Well, that has 1.4 thousand likes. And someone has commented, ROFL, ha ha ha, that's so freaking hilarious, blah, blah, blah. And then someone else said, I don't get it. And then Rebel Wilson is what Amy Schumer thinks she is, has 1.3K likes. This needs to be shared everywhere. This is 2 years ago, yeah? When Sacha Baron Cohen was trying to stop her from publishing that chapter in the book, she's playing the victim for being asked to do scenes for a movie, but she tells the world about 2 separate acts of SA she committed for laughs. Imagine if Tom Hardy did that to Rebel Wilson. He'd be arrested and his career would end immediately. And that has 35 likes. Yeah. There's a lot of comments. Oh, there's one that says 2 years ago, how is this not SA again? "2 years ago, sexual assault isn't funny." 17 likes. Then someone said, now this was 6 years ago. Now I understand why Tom Hardy said he does not want to do more comedy movies. It was not a very good experience for him. 6 years ago, if a dude comedically explained what Rebel did to other actors without prior consent, instead of being met with a room full of laughs, they'd be met with a societal storm that would end their career and marginalize them into oblivion. So yeah, it's a mixture of comments, but mainly people are pointing out that she is basically in this interview admitting to doing what she's accused other people of quite openly and sort of joking about it. But I'm not going to play that clip yet, because before that, I want to show how she got famous in the first place, right? So let me show you what I came across first. So I came across this article called Showbiz Cheat Sheet, and this is from May 2022. So this said some actors have later confessed to lying to get a role. Many, like Mila Kunis, have joked when discussing how they didn't tell the truth about how old they are. But others, such as Rebel Wilson, have gone to court when misinformation spread regarding her age. Rebel Wilson sued a publication for claiming she lied about her age. Australian actress Rebel Wilson smiles out the front of the Victorian Supreme Court on June 15th, 2017. So that's 9 years ago, in Melbourne, Australia. After a 3-week trial, a jury of 6 has returned unanimous verdicts in favour of Wilson. Rebel Wilson launched action against Bauer Media, the publisher of Women's Day, over a series of articles she alleges portrayed her as a serial liar and cost her movie roles in Hollywood. Yeah? So she sued them for this 2015 article, which we've got, which has been deleted, by the way, but someone saved it on the Wayback Machine, so we can read it. Right. There it is. So this is from May 18th, 2015. She sued them and won because they accused her of being a liar, and she then sued them for defamation and won. So what I'm saying is, legally, who is going to want to call her a liar now after someone called her a liar, a magazine called her a liar, and she sued them for defamation and won? Why she got so famous out of it was because the settlement was for $4 million US. Wait a minute, let me go back to the article again. So the magazine claimed that she had misled the world about her life, including her birth name, age, and upbringing, according to a Mojo YouTube video. So that was another video that was made much later on that had kind of used this information. The Pitch Perfect actor had previously stated in interviews that she was raised in the ghetto of Sydney and spent a year in Zimbabwe, where she claimed to have climbed into a cage with a leopard and caught malaria from mosquito bites. The publication also alleged that Wilson incorrectly stated that she was 29. Wilson is currently 42, meaning she would have been in her mid-30s in 2015. Women's Day contradicted the actor's story, claiming that she had a different upbringing and called her out on her age. The story caught international attention, with some publications even confirming the actor's actual age. Wilson took Women's Day publisher Bauer Media Group to court, suing for defamation. She denied claiming to have been 29, saying she only diverted the questions about her age. So let me go back to the article. Separating fact from fiction. Will the real Rebel Wilson please stand up? And this, I can't believe how different she looked. She's really changed her look. Only in Women's Day. Rebel Wilson's real background is very different from the story she tells. According to Rebel Wilson, she's 29, was raised by dog training bogan parents in the ghetto of Sydney, spent a year in Zimbabwe, climbed into a cage with a leopard, got caught in a shootout, and then struck down by a severe strain of malaria from a mozzie in Mozambique, where from her ICU bed, she envisioned herself winning an Oscar and rapping her acceptance speech. But far from the outlandish Hollywood movie life like she's portrayed to the public, an old classmate said Rebel had a very normal upper middle class upbringing and has added a touch of fantasy to the life she led before becoming a household name. She's clearly got a vivid imagination, laughs our source. Maybe you have to tell stories to make it in Hollywood. I studied with Rebel at Tara Anglican School for Girls in North Parramatta, Sydney, spills the source. But no one knew of a Rebel Wilson. Her name is or was Melanie Elizabeth Bounds, and she's 36. She was born in 1979, and we left school in 1997. Rebel's star has soared to global proportions following her scene-stealing role in the cult hit Bridesmaids. Her comedic charm and her ability to tell a good yarn has won her a legion of A-list fans, including Jennifer Lawrence and heartthrob Channing Tatum, but it turns out she never cracked jokes at school. That's her yearbook. Yeah, so they did their research. She was definitely not the class clown. None of us remember her being funny. I'll be honest with you, I watched her presenting the BAFTAs on YouTube because I had never heard of this woman until I saw her. I didn't even explain as well. Like, going back to August of last year when I was I did a live with Katie and Nathan from Online BS Pod, and we were talking about Rebel Wilson in that live stream, because that was when her name appeared on the text messages between Melissa Nathan and Katie Case and Jed Wallace and all the other people at Tag PR. And it said Rebel wants one of them sites. And I'm like, Rebel? So that was when I first found out about this situation with her and Amanda Ghost. But yeah, we were talking about it back then. But I didn't really know who she was, is what I was going to say. And then I found out that she's like presented the BAFTAs, and she's been on Graham Norton's show in the UK. So she's very much part of the British establishment. And she's done this film with Sacha Baron Cohen, which some people might call a cultural appropriation. Anyway. After school, the Aussie star went to study law at university, but shortly after she fell off the radar from her school friends. Oh, okay. So yeah, I did read that she had got a law degree. To read more about Rebel Wilson's real story, pick up a copy of this week's Women's Day on sale, May 18th, 2015. I mean, to be fair, it seems pretty mild, but let's go back to this one. So I think this is where it says Wilson won the suit and was awarded a $4,500,000 US dollars in damages. But the company appealed and got the amount reduced to 600,000 Australian dollars. Wilson launched a counter appeal, but it got rejected. So yeah, I think that's how she got like super famous, was because, you know, she got this massive settlement. Everyone was like, oh wow, big story. Wilson is famous in her native country for her roles in the comedy sketch show The Wedge, where she brought to life several characters. Her first role in Hollywood was in the 2011 film Bridesmaids, where she played Bryn, a part specifically written for her. That same year, Variety named her top 10 comics to watch for 2011. She landed a role in What to Expect When You're Expecting and Struck by Lightning the following year. She also lent her voice to the hit animation Ice Age Continental Drift. Later that year, she landed her most outstanding performance playing Fat Amy in Pitch Perfect, for which she received critical acclaim and various award nods. Wilson reprised her role for 2 more Pitch Perfect sequels. The actor was set to voice a character in Kung Fu Panda 3, but was replaced by Kate Hudson. She has appeared in Cats, How to Be Single, Grimsby, and The Hustle. So I think The Hustle is the movie that she's talking about with Anne Hathaway. Wilson received pushback from her team for losing weight. I cannot believe how different she looks now to what she did. She had cultivated a reputation as Hollywood's stereotypical funny fat girl and was subsequently cast as such. The trait helped her make money, but the actor decided to go on a health journey amid the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. She took a health-conscious approach to weight loss. No comment. While the world praised the actor, she revealed that her team was against the entire process. The actor told BBC that her decision to get in shape was a major discussion between her and her team. The actor said they didn't want her to lose weight as she wouldn't get any more roles. The decision was more about her health than trying to appear differently. All right, so that was that. Then what else? So nobody's favorite place, but we know that Melissa Nathan and Jed Wallace' favorite place is faux moi and pop culture chat subreddits. So what do you see? 2 years ago, pop culture chat. Sacha Baron Cohen claims Rebel Wilson's allegations are false. While we appreciate the importance of speaking out, these demonstrably false claims are directly contradicted by extensive I'm not going to read every article. Excerpts about Sacha Baron Cohen from Rebel Wilson's memoir. Is an absolute shit stain. Sacha Baron Cohen is an absolute shit stain of a human. His humor ranges from classism to misogyny to racism. I can't argue with that. It literally is. When you think about it, it's a bit like blackface, but he just didn't color his skin in. And it's just funny because these are the things that like Blake Lively has actually been accused of. Rebel Wilson has accused Sacha Baron Cohen of demanding that she performs oral on him. Years ago, Cohen has defended his behavior by stating he was method acting for the new Borat film. Pop culture chat again. Rebel Wilson accused of lying about Sacha Baron Cohen, harassment lawsuit. Beaumoir, Sacha Baron Cohen responds to Rebel Wilson's accusations. While we appreciate the importance of speaking out, these demonstrably false claims are directly contradicted by extensive, let me click on this one, detailed evidence. So, we don't believe you, Sacha. What a perfect reaction picture. Oh my God. I think there was something about this is why we should always believe women. I don't know whether I should look through these comments or not. Maybe I won't, because I want to make it quite quickly. I want to make it quite quick tonight. But anyway, I just thought this was interesting. Sacha Baron Cohen denies Rebel Wilson a-hole claim in memoir while filming Bruno. Sacha Baron Cohen. Oh, that's not even about him, I don't think. Rebel Wilson reveals Sacha Baron Cohen to be the a-hole she wrote about in a chapter of her upcoming memoir, Rebel Rising, and the one who is threatening her to stop press coming out. Faux moi, 2 years ago, fans think Sacha Baron Cohen sexually harassed Rebel Wilson. Rebel Wilson called effing nuts by PR team she allegedly used to smear the dead producer. Well, the interesting thing about this, is I don't know whether Melissa Nathan was hired by Sacha Baron Cohen, but he's literally her type of client. He literally fits the bill 100%. And I just think that there's a very familiar look to a lot of these posts. Then we've got an article. It was really the comments on YouTube, actually, that kind of made me think, it's just the timing of it. So this was on May 10th, 2019. And it says, I forgot Rebel Wilson effered Tom Hardy's butt touched Anne Hathaway's breast. Again, can't believe how different she looks there. Rebel Wilson fell out with Tom Hardy after she touched his butt without warning while the pair were working together. The actress starred alongside 41-year-old Tom in the 2012 romantic comedy spy film This Means War, and during an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live, the actress admitted she got a little too hands-on with her co-star. My first day on set, the director said, when you enter the scene, I want you to just stick your finger up Tom Hardy's butt, the star recalled. I did it. I just did it. He gave a really realistic, shocked expression, and then he didn't really talk to me. The star went on to share that she made a similar faux pas. She calls it a faux pas. While filming alongside Anne Hathaway for the pair's upcoming movie, The Hustle. The Australian-born star and the Ocean's 8 actress play leading roles in the Chris Addison-directed Clip, which is a remake of the 1988 film Dirty Rotten Scandal. Right, so let me just show you what she used to look like quickly again. That was in 2015. Okay, now we'll go to this. This is her on Jimmy Kimmel Live. This is what they were talking about in that article I just read out.
There's a thing like you probably notice, like actors' etiquette. Like
Not
if you
really,
have to,
but tell us, yeah.
Okay, if you have to kiss somebody, like you have a breath mint, and you don't eat like fish for lunch,
right?
That kind of thing. And if you're going to touch somebody inappropriately, you tell them before the take and say, "Is that all right if I do this to you?"
Yeah.
But I forgot in that.
In that case,
maybe like deliberately forgot. I've done it before too.
Oh, you have?
Not just to Anne.
Oh, who'd you do it to?
I did it to an actor. do you know Tom Hardy?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
To Tom
It was
Hardy.
one of my first movies in America, which I actually was cut out of.
Oh,
It was called This Means War with Tom Hardy and Reese Witherspoon.
okay.
And on my first day on set, the director said, when you enter the scene, I want you to just stick your finger up Tom Hardy's butt.
What?
Just like really, just surprise him.
Was this Steven Spielberg?
No. And so I was too junior. I didn't know, like, you shouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just did it.
Yeah, right.
And
how did Tom react?
he gave a really realistic, shocked expression.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was like, what? And then he, like, didn't really talk to me. But, like, he was wearing pants. So it wasn't, I couldn't go all the way up. Like, you know.
And you got along well with Anne, I presume.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's awesome, guys. Academy Award-winning actress, so versatile.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know whether she'll like me saying this, but, you know, in the movie, she wears a wig, but it looks exactly like her own hair.
Oh, really?
But it costs $30,000.
Oh, what?
I'm like, yeah. But, guys, she is great. She's great.
That sounds
I will say
terrific.
this, though.
Yeah.
One time, she accused me of being late to set.
Uh-huh.
And then the next day, she slept through her alarm and was like an hour late. But guys, she is the best. She's the best. She's the best. Like, okay, like
what else?
my outfits in the movie.
Yeah.
I just know all this stuff because I'm also the producer of the movie.
Okay.
So my outfits were like $400 max.
Yeah.
Hers were like $10,000.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's so down to earth. Like,
Rebel Wilson, everybody. The movie.
I love
Anne
Oh, so the comment about $10,000 was about Anne Hathaway. Got it. I thought it was about Rebel Wilson.
Hathaway is the hustle. It opens Friday.
Yeah, so that was that. That was the one that I showed all the comments about. Yeah. Where they'd obviously been updated 2 years ago to be negative towards Rebel Wilson. I'm just saying. Rebel Wilson gives me very much the same vibe as what's her name? Jamila Jamil. So if anyone hasn't watched I did a really long deep dive into Jamila Jamil. And yeah, I just feel like what I've really learned from this, what everyone should be learning from this, and they're really not, and they're really missing it, is you cannot take seriously what anyone says in these like talk show interviews. Because it's either exaggerated or made up. So, just to get you up to speed, so Katie Wassell said in her Twitter Spaces that Melissa Nathan was hired by Sacha Baron Cohen to do a smear campaign against Rebel Wilson. We see comments directed towards her. We see that it's been highlighted that she had alleged that she had admitted to sticking her fingers up Tom Hardy's butt, which is what she basically accused Sacha Baron Cohen of. And he then had those pages redacted from her memoir. So then we get to 2024 and she pops up in the exhibits of the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni a very long ongoing lawsuit, apparently as a client of Melissa Nathan, because she's hired Brian Friedman as her attorney. So going back to this article, which is from July 2024, see how different she looks now? Trying to get rid of all these adverts. Oops, what have I done? Oh gosh. Right, don't want to do that. So this says update. So yeah, this was in July 2024. Yeah, so this is before Baldoni has even come into the picture. This is before he's hired Melissa Nathan. He's still stressing out over there, but we didn't know anything about this then. It was life before Baldoni. Yeah, so it says, update with producer statement. The producer of Rebel Wilson's The Deb have responded to claims Wilson made earlier Wednesday about their involvement in Australian musical movie, which is Wilson's directorial debut. RW's allegations are false, defamatory, and disappointing, a spokesperson for the producers, who Wilson named in the video as Amanda Ghost and Gregory Cameron, and executive producer Vince Holden, told Deadline later in the day. So yeah, this article is in Deadline and it's by Mike Fleming Jr. Let me just tell you, yeah, if you see any articles by Dominic Patton, I get the feeling Dominic Patton, I'm not sure if he's Deadline or Hollywood Reporter, but he definitely reports from a Brian Friedman perspective. I can't help noticing. Previously at 8:46 a.m. Did I read that? I can't remember if I read that or not. RW's allegations are false, defamatory, and disappointing. A spokesperson for the producers, who Wilson named in the video as Amanda Ghost and Gregory Cameron, and executive producer Vince Holden, told Deadline later in the day. So Gregory Cameron, he was a witness in the Charlotte Mcinnes versus Rebel Wilson trial. I think the day before yesterday I saw him, and he says that there was no sexual harassment reported. Actually, they did an investigation as well based on what Rebel Wilson was alleging, I think. Where was I? Told Deadline later in the day, her self-promotional claims are clearly intended to cause reputational harm to the individuals who have supported her directorial debut film, The Deb, a joyous movie that we're very proud of and are looking forward to sharing with audiences. For her to promote a false narrative to advance her own agenda undermines the film and all the people who worked on this project. Previously at 8:46 a.m., when you cross actress and first-time director Rebel Wilson, you better expect a rebel yell. She has just dropped a video on Instagram hammering by name some of the backers of her directorial debut, The Deb, who she claims prevented the film from making its world premiere as the closing night film at the Toronto Film Festival. The reason why I'm going over this is because these articles get buried in noise. Yeah, like if you look this up now, all you get is what is going on now. Rebel Wilson spends a lot of money on PR. This comes after Wilson singled out for scorn Sacha Baron Cohen over the 2016 comedy The Brothers Grimsby, in which he played a soccer hooligan, we call it a football hooligan, who helps his secret agent brother save the world. She played his wife. She was promoting her memoir, Rebel Rising, and he denied her allegations. The threat of legal action prompted Wilson's UK publisher to redact passages, and the chapter was removed when published in Australia. You can watch Wilson express her disappointment over her Australian musical as she levels some pretty serious charges against her backers. Here is the text of words from Wilson. So, you might have noticed, I'm not very good at doing Australian accents. I tried to do one earlier when I was getting ready, that I did a post. No, I can't do it. A couple, like a week ago, about my film. The first film that I've directed that I'm so proud of, The Deb, which is a little Australian original musical that is so cute. And it's awesome that it got selected for closing night of the Toronto Film Festival, which is like just, the best platform. And to be a first-time female director, it's just like, it's huge, it's massive. So somewhere, I don't know where exactly, but it was a while ago, it might have been the actual lawsuit documents of the Amanda Ghost case, but there was something about her saying she was the director wasn't 100% accurate, because she had a role as a director, but I think she was more of a co-director, and I think she had someone working for her who'd won a competition or something, who was doing most of the work. This is what they were saying. I'm just going by, this is just hearsay. And then once the film was over and it was going to get this like premiere at the Toronto Film Festival, and then that didn't happen, that was when she started doing all this publicity, because she wanted to get like a lot more out of the film. Basically, she wanted the film she was kind of waiting for the film to be promoted to then sort of like ride on the wave of its publicity. That's what they were saying anyway. So when she found out that it wasn't getting this big premiere, she got really upset, and in retaliation, she made this Instagram video. So to have the joy of the movie being selected is one thing, but then to have the business partners that are involved in that movie turn around and say that no, the movie can't premiere is just beyond devastating. And like, I don't know how these film festivals work, but I imagine that I imagine there's money involved, and I imagine that there's a lot of competition to have your movie shown. But she's like saying it like it's like personal to her, which I doubt if it is what I'm trying to say. It's giving a little bit Justin Baldoni vibes. Yeah, so why are they saying this? Why are they stopping it from premiering at Toronto? Well, this dates back to October of last year, where I discovered bad behavior by these business partners. And let me just, I just tell it how it is. So I'm just going to tell you who they are. They are so-called producers of the film. I use that phrase very lightly. Their names are Amanda Ghost and Gregory Cameron, and an executive producer who works with them called Vince Holden. So these are the people involved. And so I reported, I guess you would say, that their bad behavior, when I found out not nice things, big things, inappropriate behavior towards the lead actress of the film, that's Charlotte, embezzling funds from the film's budget, which we really needed because we're a small movie, so kind of really important things. There was some messages I saw as well, some actual email exchanges where she was like asking for money, say, when is my payment coming through? They said that was all she cared about, was getting money. Since I reported that behavior, I have been met with absolute viciousness and retaliatory behavior. So I'm there on set. I'm trying to film my movie with my gorgeous Australian cast and crew who are so amazing. Shout out to all of you guys. And yet every step of the way, these people who I complained about then tried to make my life hell. In the meantime, though, I still finished the movie. I made this great movie, The Deb, and then now, almost at the finish line, they're saying, it can't come out. They might not release it. They might bury it. This is the work of hundreds of people who have put their heart and soul into this. And this behavior is absolutely vile and disgusting. Now, these people, Amanda Ghost in particular, has a history of doing this kind of thing, mainly to music artists, but also to people in the film business. So the thing is, these people are forced to sign NDAs. Or, otherwise threatened or bullied to not speak out. As you guys know, I'm not like that. I won't get threatened. I will speak the truth and, warn people about these people in the industry who are just not behaving ethically. Yeah, so that's my dilemma. If the movie doesn't play at Toronto, it's because of these absolute F-wits. So that's what kicked this off. Because then they turn around and said, actually, that's not true at all. That's not what happened. And I don't remember off the top of my head the exact reasons why it wasn't shown at that festival, but it had nothing to do with them pulling out the funding. And so, yeah, they sued her for defamation. So then what does she do? Remember, that was in July. By October, Dominic Patton is writing in Deadline, Rebel Wilson slams the Deb producers with her own lawsuit, just the tip of the iceberg, Star's lawyer insists. Guess who she's hired? None other than Brian Friedman. Yes, and then there's this article about her countersuing and demanding money. I think there's like 9 counts. Just more than a week after the musical drama had its world premiere on the closing night of the Toronto Film Festival, Deb director Wilson and her lawyer Brian Friedman assert in a September 26th filed counter-complaint that the Pitch Perfect star is determined to fight, not only for herself, but also for the Deb and for all those who have silently suffered from producer Amanda Ghost's reprehensible actions over the years. At its core are 3 co-producers, Ghost, Cameron and Holden, who operated under the delusion that they could act at the expense of others with complete impunity, says Wilson's 9-claim breach of contract suit against Ghost and fellow Deb producers Gregor Cameron and Vince Holden. It's a 35-page filing in Los Angeles Superior Court. Right? What does that say? She called them the absolute F-wits by Wilson in late July. When these despicable actions were reported by Rebel Wilson, the film's director, writer, and star actress, the trio resorted to the Amanda Ghost strategy of intimidation and bullying to silence her and evade accountability. There is no way anyone with eyes and ears could say that this woman has been silenced. She's been on 60 Minutes. There was on another one of my videos, I read out some text messages exchanged between Melissa Nathan and James Vatushka from the Mail. And she was like, could you have that call with Rebel today? This was in August of 2024. How has she been silenced? Intimidation, bullying, silence her, and evade accountability. This strategy embodies a relentless cycle of manipulation and coercion that Wilson has endured since October 2023, showing no signs of abating. As well as accusing the producers of getting their hands on 900,000 Australian dollars from this film's budget to be split between them, Wilson's counter-complaint follows up with specifics on the alleged treatment of Charlotte Mcinnes. The counter-complaint says that Ghost forced Mcinnes to live in her Bondi Beach penthouse apartment with her. This is where the incident occurred, where she was meant to have sexually harassed her in the bath that the court case has been talking about for the last 3 days. And the producer took a shower and bath with Mcinnes. The filing adds that Ghost was overheard making overtly sexual remarks to Mcinnes on set. This war of words and writs started back in the summer when Wilson took to social media to chastise the producers for nixing the Deb's Toronto International Film Festival premiere, playing fast and loose with the film's funds and inappropriate behaviour towards the film's lead actress, Charlotte Mcinnes. The trio first responded to Wilson's claims by telling by terming them false, defamatory, and disappointing. They quickly followed that up on July 12th with a defamation lawsuit. On July 16th, the Deb was officially on as the Toronto Film Festival closing night film, and on July 16th, Wilson hired the pugilistic Friedman to go into legal battle for her. So there you go. That was a quick recap. I can see. Sorry, I'm not ignoring you. Hi, Kayla. You didn't realise Rebel had fans that would be disappointed she wasn't in a film festival. She's not that popular in the US. I can tell you she's not that popular over here. Like, that's what I'm saying. She's done the BAFTAs. Like, she's not funny at all. Because I only know this because I watched it on YouTube recently. And yeah, she's been on talk shows. But I haven't really never heard of her, nor is, I don't think anyone I know's ever heard of her. I've never heard anyone talking about her or anything. So yeah, it's kind of wild that she gets so much publicity. I'm not like that. I will speak the truth. Okay, first plus side lead of a rom-com. Yeah, I mean, look, it's pretty obvious she doesn't speak the truth. Like, but I just find it really interesting. Okay, so I think I've laid out everything I wanted to say. So now, okay, so basically for her claims about these awful people, Amanda Ghost and oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to play the voice note, actually. That's also on my channel. Yeah, so we knew that they had made this website, amandaghost.com, and they had done a Twitter account and a YouTube channel, I think, and a Pinterest. So that was when I was like, oh my God, this must be their MO. Because when I heard about when I saw the Pinterest and it said she was the Indian Ghislaine Maxwell, I remember listening to a hearing in the Blake Lively case where they've been talking about someone having the login for a Pinterest or something. And I was just like, wait, Pinterest? Like, I didn't know anyone really used Pinterest, but that's what they did with all these other quote unquote smear websites, including, funnily enough, Alexa Nicholas. Now, here's my question for tonight. Yeah. As you know, I've been saying Alexa Nicholas is a liar. She's a fraudster, and she does not have a safe. She claimed that she was curating a safe space for survivors, which she did not. She caused harm to people in that space, and they spoke out about it. A lot of people spoke out against her. Therefore, to claim that Melissa Nathan and Tag PR created a smear campaign against her, I do not find accurate. The same way that many people, if I now say Melissa Nathan done a smear campaign against Rebel Wilson, would probably feel the same. But it's funny how I seem to be the only person that sees it like that, that's speaking about it. That's why I wanted to make this live stream. Right, let me quickly play the voice note that Jed Wallace made when they were discussing the content they were going to make in their efforts to make Amanda Ghost look bad. If you don't know as well, Amanda Ghost was a music artist, a singer during the trip hop era in the UK. And then she went on to become an executive at Sony Epic. Where's the video? I don't even know my way around my own channel. All right, leaked audio. Okay. Right. So, everyone remember this? Oh, by the way, let me just pause on that for 1 second. Katie Case gave evidence, I think it was the day before yesterday, in the Mcinnes versus Rebel Wilson case in court via Zoom link, I'm guessing, because she's not in Australia. It's in Australia. And the first day I was watching, they were talking about her giving evidence, and she was like she had asked the judge to not appear on camera. That's why I put my camera on tonight, because I'm like, this is what I really don't like about these people. Yeah, like even there's just another article's come out by Gary Baum. Gary Baum. He's annoying as well. But they used some like AI, it looks to me like AI generated illustration of Melissa Nathan, Jed Wallace, and Brian Friedman. Brian Friedman looks like Brian Friedman. The Jed Wallace and Melissa Nathan doesn't look like them. Why can't you use their pictures? Why do these people who are literally paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to make people feel ashamed of themselves, to get people to make people troll them online, to try and end them, to try and to just basically spread hate about them? Why are they so ashamed of showing their faces is what I want to know. But yeah, that's Katie Case. And that was a published photo on, I think it was on someone's LinkedIn account. So you hear what he said there? He said, we need to create a path. Create, not repeat what's already out there. We're creating a path. Let me just rewind that. AKA, we're making it up. She doesn't suck at music, by the way. Amanda Ghost, born 10th of July 1974, known professionally as Amanda Ghost, is a British entertainment executive, songwriter, and singer. She was the president of Epic Records from 2008 until 2010. Ghost is a 3-time Ivor Novello Award winner. 3-time Ivor Novello Award winner. Ivor Novello is like a proper musicians award thing. It ain't no like payola award show. A Golden Globe nominee and worked on 5 songs and albums that have been nominated for Grammy Awards. How is that sucking at music, Jed Wallace? Do you know who does suck? You. Let's just go back again. One more time. Heidi Fleiss as well, if you don't know. She was like in the 2000s. She kind of exposed Hollywood because she was like, Heidi Fleiss had you can see she had a bad addiction. I think it was cocaine. But because of that, she got into sex work. She got into getting girls for people like Charlie Sheen, lots of Hollywood sleazebags, basically. She ends up going to prison. She ends up being the scapegoat. Not saying what she did wasn't immoral, but all of those guys that she supplied the workers to, I don't think their careers were affected. Yeah, so those pictures are of Amanda Ghost performing. That's her performing when she was a singer. And that's her at the Grammys, not sucking at music. Yeah. So that was me debunking the voice note. Let me see what the chat's saying. The audio isn't playing? Oh. Heidi Fleiss was the villain who harvested Jean's tiger blood. Wait, could you hear the audio or not? Heidi Fleiss was the villain who harvested Sheen's tiger blood, causing him to lose the life force necessary to maintain his career and marriage. Yeah, I don't remember the exact details. I just remember Heidi Fleiss was like, you know, the most notorious Madame of Hollywood. And then obviously like that being in the 2000s, before Me Too, she was just seen as the villain. I don't remember any of the guys like getting the same kind of negative attention that she did. I mean, she was literally like treated like dirt. That's really weird that it. All right, let me try it again. Let me try it again because it was playing for me. I'll try it one more time. Any good? This guy as well, Len Blavatnik, yeah. So, I mean, he owns the company. And I was reading earlier something that said that they had, I can't remember the name of the group, but it was something like Uni something or other. But I think one of their companies that they bought was Shazam. I actually used to use Shazam a lot. Shazam is an app where when you're hearing a song playing and then you can like Shazam it and it will tell you what the song is. But I just went on it a few days ago and they've changed it. So now you have to have iTunes. You have to have an iTunes account. Otherwise you can't use it. It had wiped my whole library. But yeah, I mean, I imagine they've made a lot of money with it, despite it ruining the user experience. But that's just the way every business has gone. It's not just them. Every app business, I should say. It's still muted. That's so annoying. All right. Well, I was just saying, you're going to have to go on my channel then and watch it after the live stream. Let me show you which video it is. So it's that one. Jed Wallace leaked Rebel Wilson voicemail in full. I'll tell you what I could do. I could read the transcript if you can't hear it. So it says, oh, also talked about Rebel, like, here's the deal with Rebel. And I think you, me, and Brian, and maybe Katie, since she'll write this thing, what we have to do is we know the biggest piece here. We know the biggest piece here is that we have to connect Amanda Ghost with Blavatnik. And I was just like, so basically what we need to do is we need to create a path where we expose Amanda. Amanda Ghost as like the new Heidi Fleiss. Like she masquerades. Do you know why I really find it annoying as well? Is because Jed Wallace, yeah, when he was, I can't remember, I think it might have been in the Bam Margera thing or somewhere I read that he makes out that he's like this good guy that just helps people with drug problems and that are in recovery. But you're literally using an obvious addict for your hit piece idea. Like she masquerades as the reason why she sucks so bad at music. And I'm like, does he even know about her career? Because I'm not being funny, but to become a music executive at that level is no easy thing. Especially she's like not white either. So I don't know anything about the woman. I know I did sort of do a little bit of research when I first saw her name. I was like, who is she? And I saw that she had a music career back on YouTube years ago. There were negative comments about her as well. But to be fair, give her some respect. She's gotten pretty high up the ladder. And the reason why this whole, in my opinion, from what I've seen of the Charlotte Mcinnes defamation suit. This is going by what Rebel Wilson's attorney is saying in his questioning. His line of questioning is going along the lines of like, Rebel Wilson kind of feels like Charlotte Mcinnes was her discovery, and Amanda Ghost like took her over and took her under her wing and started getting her like music deals and stuff. And like Charlotte's friend, who, because they were both starring in a musical, they're both pretty young. They were starring in a musical called The Gatsby, I think, and they then went to audition for this film at the Deb, and Charlotte got the part, her friend didn't, and she said that like they were at some kind of like event or some party or something, and Rebel Wilson was kind of like, oh, you didn't get the part. Like she sounds like a bitch. Like, she was sort of like highlighting to this person, making her feel bad. Right, where was I? Yeah, so the reason why she sucks, is so bad at music, is because she's actually getting hookers for Blavatnik. So this Blavatnik guy, he was nowhere near the set of this movie. He had nothing to do with it. He's not part of the case. He's just the guy who owns all the investment companies that own all these businesses, basically. But, you know, Jed is Mr. Basic. That's what he meant when he was talking about Russian oligarchs. Right? And that's what she does. She's an absolute madam. And that's why she's so lethal, blah, blah, blah. But that he's right. Like, we can't just do like, oh, she's a B. She sucks. It's like got to be really, really nasty, really heavy and connected to something that heavy. So we'll talk about that tomorrow too. So yeah. That's what he said. Maybe it doesn't broadcast. Yeah, but could you hear the video when she was on the Jimmy Kimmel show? Maybe you couldn't. Anyway, so I'm not going to be too much longer. Let me quickly recap of what is going on in this case. So I knew I was going to forget the guy who is representing Rebel, but he's an a-hole. By the way, Jed Wallace, how much of a sexist idiot does he come across in that voice note? Oh, you couldn't hear it, but reading it. I was just going to see if there was oh, I forgot to show you this. Right. So going back to this idea that Melissa Nathan was involved in the smear campaign, look at this one. Rebel Wilson claims Adele hates her, didn't like being compared to actress during bigger years. Does that sound like Melissa Nathan or what? It's got written all over it. So going back to this defamation case. So yeah, I saw the first day. I saw the last hour, and it was her friend being questioned by this bald guy. That's what I was going to do. I was going to quickly look up his name. But she was really composed. And like I said, what I got from it was Rebel Wilson was being a little bit shady to her. And seemed to be annoyed that Amanda Ghost kind of took her under her wing. And is making that into the reason why her career's taken off. And it's just funny, like listening to this guy, because he just doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not clued up on the music industry at all, you can tell. David Sibtain, that's it. Let me show a picture of him quickly. Oh God, Brian Friedman's come up. Oh, there he is. Right. Oh, I can't. It won't let me show it because I have to subscribe. Okay. Right. Can you see that? Oops. I've gone big. Yeah, that's him there. She is so pretty. That's Charlotte. The other thing about that guy, Sibtain, he can't even pronounce her name right. It's been 3 or 4 days, and I think it was like yesterday, the judge was like, oh, when she started, she's been on the stand for 2 days. This is not in front of a jury, by the way. It's in front of a judge. It's a civil case. But yeah, at the beginning of her testimony, the judge was like, can we just the correct pronunciation of your name, right? Because he kept saying it as McGuinness, and she said, yeah, it's Mcinnes, and he still is saying her name wrong. It's just so disrespectful. But yeah, so they've been trying to say that this is what happened, okay, in case you don't know. They're filming this movie, The Deb. Charlotte McInnes they're in the sea, and she's on some kind of steroid medication. This is what we've heard from the doctor. and that caused her to have like a kind of overreaction to the cold water. So it's something called like toxic shock cold water syndrome. It's like a really rare affiliation, affliction, not affiliation, but that's what she had. So they've gone back to the apartment, the penthouse. They've shown a picture of the bathroom. It's like this big bath, yeah. And so they've got in the bath and to warm her up, because that's what it's, I think they looked it up online and that's what it was advised to do. Actually, I think Amanda Ghost's doctor actually gave testimony. I didn't catch it, but I think that's what she said. That's why she testified to say that, you know, she advised them to get in the bath to warm up and have hot drinks, and that's what they did. And then she was okay again. But this Sibtane is trying to, based on what Rebel Wilson has claimed, is trying to insinuate that it was inappropriate. So I saw him questioning her friend. And then also the other thing that they're trying to make out is that the reason why she is saying that, I say she, Charlotte, is saying that Rebel Wilson is lying is because, wait, is this picture here or not? I don't particularly want to look at him, but it was just to like, no, they don't even want to show you what he looks like. But yeah, the reason why they're saying she's saying what Rebel Wilson said isn't true, that nothing happened in that bath. The next day, there was a message exchange shown where she said something about, oh, I just freaked out. It was a bit weird. But she didn't say anything other than that. So this guy has had this line of questioning that really she was sexually assaulted and it was all really inappropriate. And then the reason why she's now walked that back is because she's got this recording career going on thanks to Amanda Ghost. And he's like, didn't you make a video with so-and-so? And like, isn't that all because of Amanda Ghost, like doing you a favor because now you're not going to tell on her? It's like, he doesn't have any evidence for this other than what Rebel Wilson has put to him. But so far, no one that he's questioned that I've seen has gone along with his line of questioning in any way. And he's been so slow and painful with his questions as well. Like, he's gone over on every single witness, and not one of them has, like, basically he's tried to catch them out, and he's not really achieved it with any of them. So yeah, I saw her friend on the first day. She made it sound like Rebel Wilson kind of tried to show her up at this like event they were at, and that she was like bragging about how wonderful Charlotte was and how Charlotte was going to be this big star. So then the next day I saw Gregor Cameron, and he kept saying, I'm sorry, could you ask that question again? He was involved in the production. They kept asking him about the budget changes and stuff, that this idea that they've embezzled this money. That was literally, again, leading nowhere. It was slow, painful, and he didn't get the answers that he was hoping out of this guy. He also said that there was a conversation about this idea that sexual harassment had taken place. It didn't stop the production. It was looked into. Everything was done as it should be. So yeah, again, just dead end. Let me just show you him, Baldy, for a minute. And then, so then the last 2 days have been Charlotte on the stand, and she's been very well composed. Again, he's tried to break her down. He's tried to insinuate that her career has only gone the way it has gone because of her keeping quiet about what really happened with Amanda Ghost in this bathroom. And apparently, I think this morning, yeah, it was this morning. So I watched yesterday, it started at like 6:30. Today she was back on. Apparently, so she'd done a full day. He'd actually made her cry. That's how much he was harassing and bullying her on the stand. Both her and her friend came across, in my humble opinion, as very straightforward, as very open and honest. They don't seem devious people at all. Like, it's really not going in the favor of Rebel Wilson right now, I would say. What's also been really interesting is that they have this correspondence from Brian Friedman. So obviously Brian Friedman was Rebel Wilson's attorney in the case against Amanda Ghost and Gregor Cameron and Vince Holden. So when it all came out, this stuff about the websites, and it wasn't just that, it was like the messages that Brian Friedman was sending Camille Vasquez. So Camille Vasquez is representing Amanda Ghost, who obviously, if you know about Johnny Depp, was his attorney during the Johnny Depp trial. This is what I just can't get over with these people. They all seem to use the same attorneys and PR companies. Because then Amanda Ghost hired someone to find out, she hired a law firm to find out who was creating these smear sites. And that was Priya Cashman, who are now representing Katie Case. Like, and that's how we think, or some people think, these exhibits came to be shown came to be in the public domain, because it kind of gave it away. But anyway, when it all blew up for Rebel Wilson, she dumped Brian Friedman, allegedly. This is at the beginning of this year. And then she goes on a kind of like defense tour when she appeared on 60 Minutes Australia. So that's how this all fits together. I was thinking about showing the People Web again, because even with Amanda Ghost, there's a connection to the Michael Jackson estate, because Amanda Ghost was an executive at Epic Sony when Michael Jackson died, and she put out a statement about his catalogue because she was getting kind of harassed about it. I can't find that. Oh, there it is. Right, going back to the picture of Charlotte, because she's much better to look at. Yeah, so I think that pretty much covers it. They're showing the trial live on YouTube, as I said, every morning, starting in the middle of the night. So I only watch it when I wake up, and then as soon as it's finished, it deletes. So you're not allowed to show any well, you're not allowed to show anything from it. But I haven't been writing notes either, so I'm just going by what I remember. I don't remember every exact detail, but just wanted to say that if anyone's confused about what's going on, which is understandable considering it's just crazy to see how much our understanding of situations that are going on are clouded by all of this smear campaigning, fake articles, PR, very little actual factual reporting goes on, which is a shame. But yeah, we have this correspondence from Brian Friedman. And another thing I forgot to mention as well. There's apparently some messages between Rebel Wilson and FKA Twigs that are relevant to the case. So Rebel Wilson is saying that she lost her phone, so she can't get access to the messages anymore. Now, FKA Twigs was also being represented by Brian Friedman against Sheila Buff, and then the case got dropped. Also, side note, Brian Friedman represented the Casio family against, well, not against, he said he was going to help them get justice. The Casio family were friends with Michael Jackson when they were growing up. After Leaving Neverland came out, up until then, they had always denied that he could be a child predator. And basically, in the case of Frank Casio, made a career out of working for Michael Jackson. They had always said that he didn't do any of it. After they watched Leaving Neverland, privately, they all found out amongst each other that he had in fact been abusing all of the kids in that family. Brian Friedman hired a private detective on behalf of the Michael Jackson estate, and the private detective, who used to work for the police, approached them and said that he was going to help them get justice. Then Brian Friedman jumps in and says the same thing. So they sign this deal, settlement deal, thinking Brian Friedman is looking out for their best interests, only to find out that Brian Friedman is actually working on behalf of the Michael Jackson estate. Why is that relevant? Because then you hear about people like FKA Twigs, you hear about Travis Flores, who sued Justin Baldoni and then had to settle with him. And now he's passed away, and now his family is suing Brian Friedman, saying that was a terrible deal. It makes you wonder what has gone on privately with FKA Twigs and what was said between FKA Twigs and Rebel Wilson. Were they comparing notes? Was she recommending him? What did she say? But the point is, Rebel Wilson's losing her phone does not mean she cannot still access those messages. Like, they're on WhatsApp, so that's in a cloud. But that's what they've been saying. They've been saying that Rebel Wilson can't access her phone, and then Brian Friedman has been using the same excuse about the messages that he has when he was representing her, that they fall under client attorney privilege only, or whatever it is, like, which is what they've been trying to say with a lot of the evidence in the Justin Baldoni case is like, well, if the lawyer is copied on the message, then it means no one else can see it. Like, they thought that would shield them from having to present it at evidence. So obviously it's his MO. But in this case, in the Australian court, it doesn't seem to be going down too well. I will update you next time on whether that evidence gets presented or not. There was something else about something had to go in before lunchtime. So Charlotte's attorney is a woman with a really difficult to pronounce name, something like Chrysantheno or something. But she's not having it with these excuses that they're making, and they're not letting her have access to documents that she was meant to have way in advance of having to question witnesses. Yeah, so you see how the same dirty tricks are being used, and it's funny how it's Rebel Wilson's team that are doing that. But even with that all happening, I feel like it's not going well for Rebel Wilson. So we'll have to see. The other thing I was going to say about FKA Twigs, while I'm on the subject, is she went on Justin Baldoni's podcast, Man Enough. I'm assuming while Friedman was representing her. You can believe that Rebel believes Adele hates her. She thinks the world was... Yeah. It just full screened your face. I know. Sorry about that. I wasn't ready for that either. Have I heard of Gavin Mcinnes? He's a completely irrelevant to Charlotte, but her sermon... No, I haven't. I haven't heard of him. I haven't heard of any of these people, to be honest with you. That's what's so mad. That's what's so mad about doing this, about doing these live streams and doing all this coverage is I don't really know who any of these people are. But I can just see the patterns of behavior, and I'm genuinely trying to follow the facts, you know, with the case. I think I have explained it correctly. I don't think I've left anything out. If anyone's watching and they still don't understand anything about the case, please feel free to put it in the comments and I'll answer. But no, all it has done is it has made me feel like I just think all these Hollywood movies, and it's just a turn off. Like, it's all so fake. It's all so fake. So I have really no interest in going to see any of these movies. I just don't. Sorry. I think Charlotte's a really pretty girl, and I don't know what her singing's like, but, you know, she's not going to make money out of singing. She's going to make money out of promoting stuff, you know? And if she is a good person, I hope she does well for herself. I think I'm going to end it for tonight because I didn't want to do a too long video, but yeah. I think that's all I've got to say. I'm just surprised that no one else has picked up on Katie Wassell. And Kayla, I'm really interested to know, because I don't know if you've watched the videos or not. I'm really interested to know what you think about Katie Wassell, because I don't know what to think about her. I think she's a little bit all over the place with some of her stories, but I think the stuff about Melissa Nathan and saying that she knew her when she was working for Epstein, I'm just like, why isn't no one interested in that? It just seems like a really big deal. And that her sister was working for Ghislaine Maxwell. Anyway, I guess I'll end it for tonight. I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye.